Oh, hey! Welcome to Comics Tuesday. And today I'm going to be talking about superhero comic book adaptations. And so, there are a lot of them. There are some good ones, and there are a lot of bad ones. Some examples of the bad ones are movies like Catwoman and Green Lantern. So what's the problem with them? Aside from the fact that I prefer Marvel. Well, it's various things. At the heart of it, though, is anytime one of these things doesn't have a creative artist handling material that they love, it's probably going to turn out badly. So if you're going to have good adaptations, like let's say the Avengers movies, the Flash TV show, the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, then there are a lot of things you have in common there. And it boils down to two major factors, in my opinion. And the first is, it can be a great adaptation. You take what's on the page in the comic books, and you bring it to life. You take the fans, you build an audience, and you please them. It's a simple thing that too many people just refuse to do. And the other thing is, you make a good movie. Now, if a filmmaker goes out there and they make a good, fun movie, and it stars one of my favorite characters, that's my jam. So some examples of this being done are what I mentioned before in the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. If you compare that to the comic books, it's not the most accurate thing in the world. No, certainly not. Especially the, 8-year period of Batman not being Batman. Something like that would never happen in the comics. But that doesn't matter, because it doesn't rest entirely on being 100% accurate. It's clear that this dude loves Batman. And so, he makes a good movie starring Batman. And it works. It 100% works. And my favorite comic book movie ever is Captain America, the First Avenger. And why is that? Because this movie right here has the rare combination of both of these two things. If you watch just the movie, you're going to know exactly Cap's origin, where he got his powers from. You're going to know what kind of character he is. It is definitely among one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen. So to get the double whammy, both of those, within the one movie, makes it my favorite. And the sequel, however, in the very same series, you have a situation that's very confusing to me. In Captain America: The Winter Soldier, it is a spot-on adaptation, maybe even better adapted than the first movie. For everything that's in that story is there in the movie. If you're going to try to find something to complain about as far as adaptational accuracy, you'd be nitpicking, for sure. And so, here's the very strange problem. It's also a competently made film, but as much as I love the comic book story, I watch the movie and I kind of feel nothing. It doesn't affect me in the way that the comic book does, and I'm not sure exactly why that is. Maybe just the simple fact that the comic book was inspired and original. It could be that there's no doing it that well as a movie. I don't know. But something about it just doesn't work as a film for me. Which is a shame, given my love for the first film. Oh, and another of my favorites is the Flash TV show. Every week, I can't wait for the new episode. And you know what a big Flash fan I am, so I watch it and I can pick up things that aren't just like they are in the comics, but even more, there are things that I can't believe they got onto a TV show. I swear, when you mention in episode 1, Crisis on Infinite Earths, you have my attention. So a good comic book movie can be super accurate, it can be a good movie, it can be any combination of the two. And in the past there have been some movies that fall in a really weird group on this little scale. You have the Sam Raimi SpiderMan movies. Those are really good movies. Maybe not technically the best, but you know, if you watch them, you probably love them. And also, they're not that accurate. You would get some very confusing ideas having just seen those films. And that is my measuring stick for a TV show or movie being accurate to the comic books. If you can watch a movie and then later go pick up a comic book with the same character in it and follow it with continuity, you know, and you can follow it just as well as if you'd been reading comic books for a while now, then that's what impresses me. And that's where those Spider-Man movies fall short. And don't get me wrong, I'm nostalgic like crazy for these movies. I love them. But you know, you could pick up a comic book and wonder where Spider-Man's spinnerets are, and think that most of his villains are totally different, wonder why any villain he fights isn't dying. The movies were just a bit of a different thing there. But a similar example that's better is the few movies that have been transcendent, where they've started as an adaptation, and through some means or another, they end up being in their differences from the comic books, so special and spectacular on film that sometimes even the comic books will change around to it. And the prime example of this is Blade. Lots of things in that movie were totally different from the comic books, including the very major one. In the comics, before the Blade film starring Wesley Snipes, Blade was not a vampire. They just added that in the movie because I don't know why. But I'm not knocking them for it. It was a good idea. And so the comics have adopted that. But these distinctions, good movies, bad movies, it's a little narrow. And just let me say, I'm a fan of comic books and superheroes, so with most movies, I'm going to find something to like. So here's a few notable examples. In Ang Lee's Hulk, among the reasons that movie is hated is the screen transitions with comic book panels sliding across the screen. And I just want to be out there on record saying, I love that. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think other movies should start doing it. But I do see it like this dude thought, comic books, I want to show you, I want to do something with that. And I really admire that. And until the day I die, I'm going to defend one thing, and one thing only, about Superman Returns. And that is Kevin Spacey. Casting this creepy motherfucker as Lex Luthor was brilliant. And I would love to see him come back and be in a good Superman movie playing the same part the same way. I'm completely serious. Everyone's taste is different. I'm going to go ahead and admit one more shameful secret. I like the Daredevil movie. When people really hate it and rage out at it, I don't get it. I love Michael Clark Duncan as the Kingpin, and nothing else in that movie really pissed me off, so yeah, I like it. But I could go on and on about this, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Hold on! The casting of a different Flash for the Batman vs. Superman movie and or the Justice League film continuity is dumb, because they got a good one on TV. But you know, sometimes lightning strikes twice. Wally West. Anyway, wrapping it all up. That's my thoughts on comic book adaptations and TV shows and movies. I mentioned earlier in the video that my favorite comic book movie is Captain America: The First Avenger. My viewer question of the week is, what's your favorite comic book movie? Go ahead and leave your answer down in the comment section below. And don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you right here next week for Comics Tuesday. And on the next Comics Tuesday, I'm going to be talking about my top 25 non-powered supporting cast characters. Thanks for watching.